Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Fragrance Session with Lady V. My name is Kamupuane, and right next to me, we have the one and only Lady V. How you doing?
Good, and you, Kamu?
I'm good, thank you. Lady V, please tell us what first sparked your passion for fragrances.
So I think I was born with it.
Okay.
I've always had an exceptionally sensitive nose. And over the years, my grandmother, my mother have all been purveyors of fragrance. So I grew up with it. I had a passion for it. I started purchasing on my travels, and I landed up with a number of brands as a brand manager. And from there, here we are.
Lady V, how do you choose which fragrance makes it to your fragrance list?
So for me, fragrance is part of your identity. So I enjoy fragrances that are audacious, that make a statement. I want people to know that I've been in a room and that I've left a room.
Sure.
So really, fragrances need to speak for me when I'm not there.
Amazing. Describe it in 3 words, your fragrance style.
Audacious, classic, trendy.
Sure. Speaking of trendy, there are trending fragrances this season. Can you please let us know which fragrances are trending?
So gourmands are trending massively at the moment.
Okay.
A gourmand fragrance is a fragrance that you can almost taste. It has notes of an edible nature.
Oh.
So that would be like your marshmallow and your chocolate, and so like Ariana Grande Cloud. Very much that sweet candy floss note.
Sure.
Maison Francis Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge, same note. So very much that tonka bean. You can pretty much almost, when you smell it, if you have to smell one of these gourmand fragrances and be eating something that is in the notes, you will have an out-of-body experience.
Sure.
It actually does make a huge difference.
So why do you think these fragrances are popular right now?
So I think it's got a lot to do with the generation that we are selling fragrances to now. Very much the Gen Zs, even the millennials. I think that they want to be noticed, and these fragrances definitely do cause you to be noticed. Unfortunately, some of the youngsters like to overspray.
Sure.
And then they almost are edible, but it can be a little bit too much. So I would say that's one of the biggest reasons. The second being that people follow trend and international trend. So the international trend at this stage for noses worldwide is very much this gourmand experience. And a lot of the big name brands that the Gen Zs love, they're all using it.
Sure. And what are the factors that actually drive trends?
So I think it's got a lot to do with the people that create the fragrances. We refer to them as the noses.
Yeah.
It's very much that. It's also what's on TikTok, what's on Instagram, what's on social. Social is driving the trend worldwide for everything, from fragrance to fashion to food to travel.
Yeah.
You open a TikTok, you'll find every kind of influencer speaking about it, an everyday Joe that has posted about their trip. So I think that's also why a lot of people are following things like Perfume Talk.
Sure. So what's the difference between the Gen Zs when they are shopping for fragrances compared to the other generations?
They're looking for the best for nothing.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a bit of a joke. But yeah, I must say I do pick up that the general trend is that they do want what is premium. They don't really want to have to pay a lot for it. So I think that's also where the dupe trend is coming in. What most people don't understand is, and they refer to this as dupe, but the fact of the matter is that there are fragrance families.
Okay.
And these fragrance families, every single fragrance in the world fits into the fragrance wheel. So it might just be that a brand was really well marketed over the years and has a signature fragrance to it, and now there's other fragrances that are being created from scratch that fall into that fragrance family, and immediately people say, it's a dupe. It's not necessarily the case. I believe that if there are dupes, they generally are very cheap, pretty nasty, and you're not going to pay more than 100 Rand for it.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. And if you had to recommend a couple of fragrances to Gen Zs, which fragrances would you recommend?
So there are so many fabulous entry-level price point fragrances at the moment that are eau de parfum. And, the Gen Zs in general like to stand out. So they want a punchy fragrance. They want something edgy that's going to make the mark for them. Yeah. But they don't want to be spending 2,000 and 3,000 Rand a bottle. So absolutely, if you look on the table here, we have Adidas Vibes. I mean, this is a pretty new launch, fabulous juice, amazing lasting power, and under $500 a bottle.
Sure.
So, I mean, it ticks all the boxes. And I mean, who doesn't love a beautiful, trendy looking bottle as well, that you're proud to take out of your bag and show people.
Lady V, we have the genderless fragrances that are trending right now. What does genderless fragrance mean to you?
So that's an interesting question, because I don't believe that any fragrance has a gender.
Sure.
Especially, it came more to the fore in the last decade or so with the advent of niche fragrances being more available to consumers on a more accessible basis. What you eat, your pheromones, your hormones, it all affects how a fragrance develops on your skin. Fragrance is a very personal thing. So, I mean, I have certain male fragrances that I wear, and they don't smell anything like they do on some of my friends that are guys that wear it. So for me personally, I've never really believed in specific gender fragrances. I know that the marketing base does split it up. And the most famous, and probably the first that became exceptionally famous, is CK1. And I mean, that launched when I was in high school. So now you know how old I am.
And Lady V, why do you think people are embracing genderless fragrances?
I think because you can layer them, the ones that are particularly marked as gender fluid. The likes of a CK. I mean, a lot of these that are marketed as gender-free have a very fresh and citrus kind of note to it. So you can easily layer it with other fragrances, and you'll see more trends of layering coming out as the products develop. I also think that, it comes down to that thing of, I can pay X amount of money for this fragrance, and myself, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, we can use it, and it will smell differently on all of us, So it's like a share.
Sure. Please recommend the current trending, if not trending, but recommend the genderless fragrances that you think are good right now.
So CK1 is still one of the best gender fluid fragrances on the market. Zadig & Voltaire, another one, also, but very similar notes. So it's the suggestion I have for people is to go out there, spray it on your skin. Well, first spray it on a blotter, smell it on the blotter, let it settle, then spray it on your skin to see the difference, because what you're going to walk around with for the rest of the day is the base, which is the dry down. So sometimes people will smell it on the top and they'll be like, oh, I love this. And then 2 hours later, they come back and go, but this doesn't smell how it did when I smelt it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say CK1, Zadig & Voltaire, and even Diesel. A lot of people, especially the new Diesel D, EDT, definitely considered more gender fluid.
Sure. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts. Let's talk about the mistakes that people make when they pour fragrances on themselves to smell or to taste something.
Okay, so the biggest thing is, if you can smell yourself, you've applied far too much. And the reason for that, and most people go, but I buy my fragrance because I want to smell it. So if that's the case, you need more than one. Because scientifically, if you use the same fragrance for too long, and too long can be every day for a week, your olfactory senses will become desensitized to it. Your brain will protect you and classify it as a safe smell, which then means that everybody else will smell you. You will not recognize your smell.
Sure.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a store and smelled somebody with really bad body odor?
Yes.
Right. I bet the first question that went through your mind was, how do they not smell themselves? That is why. Because the olfactory passages, literally your brain shuts them down. So what I say to people is, it's not a marketing gimmick that you should have more than one fragrance. It really is a reality. If you as a person want to experience your own fragrance, you need to have a different one for every day, for every occasion. You know, even close partners, people that have been married or living together for a very long time, if they wear the same fragrance, their partners even become desensitized from an olfactory perspective. So it's always good to change it up.
Please give us the 3 golden rules into using the fragrances effectively.
So the first is moisturize. Make sure that your body is properly moisturized. The second is do not store your fragrance in a very humid place or in direct sunlight. It does change the molecules and your fragrance actually won't last well. In terms of spraying it on your body, where not to spray is on your upper part of your body, your décolleté. You don't want to spray it there because you will be getting sun all the time and it can cause sun damage. The best place to spray your fragrance, according to Coco Chanel, was anywhere where you would like to be kissed. But the best places to actually spray it is wherever you have heat. So the inside of your arm, your wrists, behind your ears, if you're going out on a hot date, behind your neck, even finishing off a little bit in your hair, but make sure that you condition your hair well thereafter because it does dry the hair out. Obviously on your torso, also emanating a lot of heat. And for ladies, behind the knees, because as you're walking, if you pass science at school, hot air rises. So as you're walking, that fragrance is just wafting up and people can smell it.
Sure. And if somebody wants to start their fragrance collection or just want to get into fragrances, what tips would you give them?
So the most important thing is test, test, test. So in the Dis-Chem stores, we have fabulous consultants who have wonderful blotters on site. Yes, fragrance does smell slightly different on the little blotter card than it does on the skin, but you cannot actually effectively test more than 3 fragrances at once. You will become totally overpowered. And when people say to you, oh, smell coffee beans to clear your nasal passages, it's a lot of rubbish. Coffee beans are only another ingredient. If you look into fragrances and how they're put together, there are a number of them that actually have coffee as an ingredient. It helps a little bit, but the way that the noses have explained it to me is the best thing to do is to smell your own skin where you have no fragrance. Naturally, your brain will almost reset your olfactory passages and you will be able to smell the next fragrance effectively. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, when you are smelling your blotter card, to actually move it across both nostrils, you physiologically cannot smell in both nostrils at the same time. So as you are breathing in and out and taking in the fragrance, you can either move your head or you can move the blotter, but it does give you a much better experience of it. The other thing, as I said earlier, is to smell it, allow it time to develop, time to settle, and smell it again. If you then really like it on the blotter, then test it on your skin.
Lady V, let's get into the fun parts of everything. Please teach me the names. There are difficult names here in the fragrance department. You know what I mean?
The description, how to say it, the
Yes,
pronunciation.
The pronunciation.
Okay, so let's start with this one over here. What do you think? How do you think this one should be pronounced?
Can I see the name? Shason. Shanson.
Chanson de. And what flavor is it?
Vanilla.
Right.
Okay.
Chanson de.
Vanilla. Okay.
Right. Then this one over here is always an interesting one. So it's French, right? Because, the history of fragrance were brought to being a trend and a wanted item by everyone by the French.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Leo Dizzy? To say.
Almost. That's actually very good to say, because that is actually how you say it.
Okay.
So it's lo de say.
Lo de say.
Pohom.
Pohom.
Which means for him.
Okay.
So if it's for a woman, it would be po'el.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is that we get so many customers coming into shops and they have their way of saying things. And it's always important for our consultants to know how to pronounce it properly so that they also know what they're buying.
Yeah.
So, for example, the alien, a lot of people come in and ask for Magla, and it's actually Mugler because it is a German surname.
Oh, I see.
A lot of people talk about Paco Rabanne or Rabani. That's always my best, the Rabani. It's actually Paco Rabanne.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think with all the different, with the fact that fragrance comes from all over the world and the major influences are from France, our South African culture struggles a little bit with some of the words.
Yeah.
We don't always pronounce them right, but it makes for a fun interaction sometimes.
Yes, definitely.
So if you're struggling with allergic rhinitis, the best thing to try, first of all, is a good antihistamine, one that doesn't make you drowsy. So you can get that over the counter at Dis-Chem. Take one a day. I usually do it at night because I struggle with it. And, if that doesn't work for you after a while, try spraying your fragrance onto your clothes. Obviously, first test that it doesn't leave a mark because depending on the oil content, it could. But yeah, try it on there, maybe on a t-shirt and just test it out from there.
Thank you, Lady V, for your time, and catch us on the next episode.